You're listening to WKIM-FM. WKIM-FM at 61.1 on iHeartRadio
with Kimberly Jessica.
Good afternoon, folks. This is your host, Kimberly Jessica, reporting in live today from Hollywood, California. Oh, my God, it was a hot one today. You guys were out there. I hope you guys made it to the beach because that concrete jungle was scorching. Well, it's Thursday night, and it's just the day before the weekend, and it's already going into the second week in May. I'm excited this evening because we, as with this show, we love to bring on people that have stories that just pack a punch. And, and I mean, when I say pack a punch, I mean, going from rags to riches, going from up to down, sideways, throughout, overcoming anything and everything that there is under the sun. Tonight, I'm really excited to be interviewing a gentleman that was basically down on his luck, and he found his financial security building his own security business. This guy is a former sheriff's deputy. He formed his own security company and performs corporate, office, and executive security. His firm is worth more than $2 million. Rob Ord, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm happy to be.
Wow. Well, I just didn't feel I could do you justice by reading your bio. I want to talk to you about your bio because, you just seem like, an amazing human being. You got divorced. You ended up broke in your early 30s. You were living in your parents' basement in rural Virginia, and you knew that you had to basically push the reset button on your life. And you had a $600 savings account and a 72 Land Rover and a few personal items from that to having a business worth over $2 million. I want to know what you're doing, what you're thinking. I want to know your blood size. I want to know everything so that I can be like you when I grow up. Seriously. Please tell us your story, Rob, because I'm just excited about you.
Okay, well, thanks. Thanks again for having me on.
It's our pleasure.
My story starts, basically back in early 2000, about 2003, and I was a deputy sheriff. I've been a deputy sheriff with a couple different departments, and I decided to go out on my own and try to start something new, and I started a security company in Virginia with absolutely no money and no financial backing whatsoever, and with a lot of drive and a lot of ambition to try to do things a little bit differently. And so I set out knocking on doors and those kind of things. I took every penny that I had about $600 saved, and I formed my company and got my licenses and those kind of things. And I picked up just a couple clients, and they liked me so much that they kept me on. And then we kept growing and growing and growing till the point of now it's almost 14 years later, actually it's over 14 years, that we've grown into several states, and we employ, several, actually at some points we employ over 200 people. And financially we're doing very well so far this year. We have doubled in size since last year, and we were just awarded in 2016 as the #1 small business employer by the Washington Post. So I think
that's huge. I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I was going to say to you is I also noticed that, you believe in quality over quantity. And I love the fact that, if you can share with us a little bit about that, where you believe in paying your people a little bit more so that you don't have to micromanage them as much.
And that's very, very important, I think, in my philosophy of growth, is that if you pay people just a little bit more, you get a little bit better quality of a person. And a lot of my competitors in different agencies, they will, go for the bottom line and try to make as much profit possible out of people, and they have an awful lot of turnover. And we're exactly the opposite. We have very little turnover, and we try to focus on each employee and what their career path will be, not only with us, but when they leave our firm and our company, and we're okay with them using us as a stepping stone. So we don't necessarily want to keep people forever, but we like to keep them for, a year or a couple years, and we found that a tremendous pool of talent, with the returning veterans coming back from Afghanistan and formerly, in Iraq, a lot of veterans come to us and they want a good quality job to get, a couple dollars in their pocket and basically settle down after life in the military, and focus their career path into getting that next job after ours. And we help them do that. We'll help place them, and we'll try to help find them even a better job than ours. So, the whole idea and mission is to really try to take care of your employees, try to give them a little bit more money. I mean, within reason. I mean, we can't pay everything. Can't give away the kitchen sink,
Right.
But by doing that, we get people that are an awful lot more loyal, and I think a much better quality person than somebody is looking to be rooted as a permanent job as a security officer. So that's our basic underlying recruitment path, and we do a lot of extras for our employees to try to help them succeed in their lives. And we have to have a lot of I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, your company doesn't have that McDonald's drive-through feel. It has more of a filet mignon feel, if you're thinking about food. I love food. I'm a foodie. So, if you're thinking about high class, high quality, top notch, versus just a run-through 7-Eleven. Not saying that there's anything wrong with those companies by any means. I'm not disparaging those companies. It's just a convenience store. So you're not going to sit in there and have a great meal, if that makes sense. You're going to get something to get by. And it's going to be high turnover. So what I'm getting from you is that your company is not that type of company where there's high turnover, but that it's more for that person that you're going to get a better quality, a dedicated, more faithful employee when you have those sets of values in your company.
Absolutely. And for us as a company, by not having that turnover ratio and not having to micromanage people because they're a better quality of a person, then we're able to reduce our cost in that we don't have to have so many supervisors and directors and a lot of overhead and oversight on those employees that sometimes they may need lots and lots and lots of oversight. So that in turn reduces our cost to manage the person. We reduce our costs because we're able to not have the turnover, and then we provide some of that money back to the employee by a higher pay, and we're able to keep the prices for our services lower than our competitors, which is exactly the opposite of what standard business models would teach you, to basically go ahead and try to squeeze as much you can out of the employee and go for maximizing profit and that kind of thing through that stage. Yeah, so we have a totally different mindset for that, and that by doing that, that's what's giving us all these accolades and awards that are drawing so much media attention. As we talked earlier, I've been on XM or Sirius and CNN and a whole bunch of other media outlets, and the Washington Post, of course, where they're highlighting this. And so it's kind of an unusual business model, and it may work for a lot of other companies. But I believe in the employee first because I came from the ground up. I started from the ground up. I've done these jobs, and I respect all of our people that are working.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. I mean, have you thought of putting a training course together, or getting a training manual where you're teaching up-and-coming security companies to use this model? Have you thought about franchising? Because this is a very powerful business model, and I'm really into business models too, business models that create profit, retain great employees, and offers a great service and creates great revenue for your own self as well. I mean, this is amazing what you're doing. Let me ask you this. How did you come up with this model? Because your values, you got to have the values, and it sounds like you have the values. A lot of people don't have those values of honor and integrity to even operate this way.
I think that it comes from my background, my personal background of actually doing the work and actually struggling so hard for so many years of having, different jobs and working in different, police departments or sheriff's departments, these kind of things, and always trying to make ends meet and truly respecting, the other side of things, not just the management side. Yes, I have, degrees and things like that. I have an MBA and they teach you lots of, things on paper, but they don't really teach you how to manage people. And I think once you start to understand that path, that everybody wants to do better, and when you really are empathetic with your staff and you try to support them, you're going to get all the loyalty in the world. So right now we have people that have been with our company for many years, and they've gone on to senior positions or other positions with different companies, and they'll actually hire us back. And so they'll come on and hire us when they're in a position that they can make that decision. So that's another business part, part of the business model as well, is that we'll help them be successful. And then, I have 3 contracts right now that have come through old employees that have worked for us that are now in senior management positions and decide their company needs security and they call us. So, that's one side. We do other things, that are pretty high speed and we'll do personal protection and executive protection. For many years we were, helping and assisting, the president now the president, and his organization with their security. And we've done all sorts of different kinds of types of security. We're mainly focused on the federal government. We were awarded a 5-year contract in January for several $1 million from the federal government. So that's another recent thing that's happened. So we're growing rapidly, and the model seems to be working. And I'll take it as far as it can go. And the answer to your question about helping or assisting other people, or with this model, or how I do things, I've helped some, but I'm not really in the position, to teach full time or to develop that because I'm so focused on the business. But I'm sure at one point there will be a point where I will do that.
Wow, that's amazing to even get a contract like that, though. That's just really, that's what I call power. And it's called trust, when you're able to be trusted. Now, when you say security, is it, because I work here in California with a lot of celebs. Now, when we use security, is it personal body security? Is it security, having security guards assigned to a building? Is it one-on-one security? Is it a detail? How does that work, Rob?
Well, we'll do all types of security. So it'll be physical security. It could be a bodyguard, like you're mentioning, which is it's different on your coast than it is on the East Coast. But I was on your coast just a week ago in Santa Monica with another client that's thinking about us out there. So there's a physical security component for a building or asset, and there's also personal security for maybe a household or a protectee. We do all of that. We kind of marry it together. But for our clients, we can provide both. and that helps a great deal with the way things happen nowadays. You may find yourself protecting a building, and then in a blink of an eye, that client will call you and say, hey, the CEO needs some protection, or they have some visiting, staff that needs some protection. Sometimes corporations lay off lots of people. They may need security at that point. So it has to be a fluid transition between the two. We also get into the investigative side, where if there's a threat or something like that we may have some resources that we can look into a threat or a problem. A lot of internal threats to corporations, they may not even want to have their own staff look at those problems. They may want to have an outside company look at some of those problems. For instance, if somebody is stealing, they may not trust some of the people that are inside, or they may just need another pair of eyes to confirm what they've already developed on their own understanding. So we can do all of that. But my background in law enforcement has helped a lot, immensely, in understanding the whole path from, protection and security to actually prosecution and if we have to go that route, if there was a problem and someone actually ends up, filing a charge on somebody for something bad. But our company, it is huge, and it's a big market. And we are a small company, but we're competing with the real big ones.
You are. I mean, you're a small company, but you have a big feel. I mean, I even read the story on how the whole thing with the Toyota, and you ended up buying it, and you sweeped it to make sure that it wasn't bugged. I mean, this stuff should be on TV. This is, I'm talking a real live MacGyver here. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, Trapper, seriously. I mean, you're that guy. Seriously.
Well, for me, it's just a way of life, and I love what I do. And that's another key component of, I think, how I've done and been successful is to, I don't feel like it's a job. I feel like it's really
your calling.
Yeah, and so I never wake up and feel like, oh, boy, I've got to go to work today, or I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. I feel like I'm on a mission, and, to help other people. And I'm very grateful for everything that's happened and how it's developed. And I think that shines through, and I think that a lot of clients like that. And I think the clients that we have really like to see how we treat our employees. And, so, I mean, that's in a nutshell. Yeah, but, we're always looking for new things and to try new ideas and to be better. As a company, and we're not stagnant, and we're very fluid with what we do.
I see that. And, I think a lot of the values and just even your calm demeanor as you're sharing with us what you do. I think it even goes back, as I was reading your story about your father and what you went through, growing up and your mom's pension. I mean, your story, have you thought about putting your story into a book, Rob?
I have. Well, I've actually had people approach me with that. There's a lot of other things that would go into obviously in that book, and the story is much larger than probably what you even read. I've tapped on and touched, with very wealthy people and very successful people, and rock stars and superstars and these kind of things. And I've been entrusted to very, very special projects, throughout these last, 15 years. But yeah, I mean, maybe there will be a point where we'll put out, or I'll put out some sort of book. But you're just seeing maybe one tenth of the whole entire story, to get it to this point. I mean, we have done some tremendous things. We were in Hurricane Katrina. We were in Hurricane Isaac. We were one of the only security companies that was down there in Louisiana, protecting people and the energy systems down there. One of the most amazing things that I can share that we did as a company during the last hurricane, which is Hurricane Isaac, and I believe it was 2007, we put 100 people on the ground in the hurricane in 24 hours' time, which was kind of unheard of. And these people were armed, and they were geared up, and they were ready to go. And we flew them, and we drove them from all over the country, and they all arrived safely, and they protected everything. And we were the only company that could do that. I still think that we're probably the only company that can do that. Our competitors will even call on us to do these kind of things.
Oh my God.
That was an amazing night during that hurricane, where I had about 15 staff members in our office running all night long, running every credit card that we had to book people's plane tickets and bus tickets. We corded phones together, strung them to the office, had phone lines everywhere, faxes going everywhere. Just imagine to try to get 100 people in that short period of time, and the resources that we had to do, and had to pull it all together. So that's something that would probably go into a book.
My God.
I
just went there. Do you know, I literally just saw myself in this place, and I literally, lived it for a second. I saw the thunder, I saw the rain. You painted this story, and I'm like, I was just there. Seriously, I was just there. You need to do something about a book. And because you're a phenomenal human being, and our time is running down. But in wrapping up, what would you like the world to know about Rob and your company? What would you like the world to know? What do you want to leave us with?
Well, what I would like the world to know is I'm very thankful for the opportunities that I've had so far, and that if I'm given any other opportunities, I'll treat them the same as the very first opportunity that I had. And that's the best thing that I can say is I'm really, really happy of the way things are going, and I will continue to keep moving it forward in the same direction. And I really thank you for your time, for the interview, and your audience taking the time to listen to my small story. And basically the other thing would be, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not the brightest person in the world. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm not the most educated person. I'm not the most motivated person. I'm not the most of any one thing. So if I can do it, if I can pull myself out of the trenches and really go from living in my mom and dad's basement and not having a living at all to being, having a decent living and being successful financially, then really that should be motivation to everybody. Yeah. And
now, how can we get in touch with you? How can we follow you and get in touch with you? Yeah, we'd love to know that too.
You can follow me. We do have a Facebook page for our company, which is if you look up Falcon, Falken, on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, of course. People can find me there, but please don't hook into me and try to sell me other stuff that I don't need, because I get about 400 or 500 emails a day. It seems for
no. We just want our people to know how to follow you and see what you're up to.
If they want to follow me, they can go to our Facebook page for Falcon Industries. We have a nice website, which is www.falken.us. We're based in Virginia, and we are expanding rapidly into about 5 or 6 different states right now. We're always looking for good quality people. We have a really nice hiring program where we can pull somebody in and give them a U.S. government security clearance, which is really valuable. Yeah, in the long run, especially to IT folks and people that really want to step up their game for employment. Maybe they need a different job later on. Anyhow, so we can do things like that, and I think that that really can help people, in their career path. So, and we're always looking for good quality people. They don't necessarily have to be veterans. We like veterans. We love them. And we probably have about 80% of our company is. But we'll still take people that are not veterans, and we'll train them up to speed. And then, they'll go through a lot of our training courses and classes. And, if they make the cut, they'll get a security clearance. They have to have a great background. They can't have any criminal history. And there are some recruitment videos that we have posted on our LinkedIn and our Facebook accounts where it'll talk about that and how they can apply and how they can be a member of we call it's called the CAT team, which is a recruitment tool that we use to bring in people from the outside
awesome.
And just train them up to speed. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, well, you know what? You have an amazing system. You have an amazing system, an amazing company. I can't wait to read more about you and hear more about you. We just want to thank you so much for interviewing with us today. Your story is amazing. I think you're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. I think you're going to go even 10 times farther. So again, we just want to thank you for being on the show with us today.
Hey, and thank you very much, and God bless you for what you do, and I look forward to hearing more about your show and everything and all your stories that you put out. I love listening to it, and hopefully, in the next 6 months or a year, I'll give you a call again.
Thank you so much, and God bless you as well for everything that you've done and who you are. And yes, absolutely, we'd love to have you back on. Again, thank you so much for being on with us today. This is Kimberly Jessica reporting in live today from Hollywood, California, and we just interviewed a fascinating young man, and he's done some wonderful things, and, you guys can check him out. His name is Rob Ord, and basically he runs Falcon Industries, and you can catch him on his Facebook page. Rob, thank you so much again for interviewing with us, and have a wonderful day, folks. This is Kimberly Jessica signing off. Take care, folks.
You're listening to WKIM-FM. WKIM-FM 61.1 on iHeartRadio
with Kimberly Jessica.